In the heart of Europe exists a country that most people only know by name. A country where bears roam through ancient forests, where mountains tell stories from primordial times, and where rivers shape landscapes that exist nowhere else on this continent. Romania, a name often associated with myths and legends. Yet the true wonders of this country lie not in stories of vampires, but in its breathtaking, untamed nature. What if I told you that the largest untouched primeval forests of Europe exist here? That the densest bear population of the continent lives in these mountains? And that geological processes have created landscapes here that still amaze scientists today? In the upcoming video, I will take you on a journey through one of the last wild paradises of Europe. If natural wonders and extraordinary places are close to your heart, then subscribe to this channel and activate the bell, because this is just the beginning of a series about Europe's hidden treasures. Welcome to Romania. The Carpathians. Stretching over 1,000 kilometers through Romania, they form the geographical backbone of the country. The Southern Carpathians, also known as the Transylvanian Alps, are home to Moldoveanu at 2,544 meters, the highest peak in Romania. Yet, what makes these mountains special is their formation history. Millions of years ago, tectonic plates collided and created this mighty mountain system. The Carpathians are still in geological motion. Earthquakes remind us that the earth beneath our feet is alive. The Fagurus Mountains form the heart of the Southern Carpathians. They're cirques from a time when glaciers shaped this landscape. Lake Balea, located at 2,034 meters, shimmers deep blue between gray rocks in summer. What makes these mountains a biodiversity hotspot? Over 3,400 brown bears live here, the largest population outside Russia. Wolves roam the forests. Lynx find one of their last refuges in Europe here. But the true treasures are the primeval forests. Over 600,000 hectares of primary forest, beeches, firs, and spruces that have remained untouched for millennia. Living archives that show how Europe looked before humans shaped the landscape. Trees over 500 years old, whose wood is so valuable that illegal logging has become a serious problem. In Retezat National Park, Carpathian nature reveals itself in its purest form. Over 80 glacial lakes, some so remote that they can only be reached after multi-day hikes. A protected area that has preserved alpine wilderness since 1935. From mountains to water, the Danube Delta, where the second longest river in Europe meets the Black Sea. After nearly 3,000 kilometers through 10 countries, the Danube performs something extraordinary here. It branches into a labyrinth of waterways, islands, and reed beds. At over 5,000 square kilometers, it is the second largest and best preserved delta in Europe. UNESCO World Natural Heritage since 1991. Geologically young, it began forming 10,000 years ago. The Danube transports 67 million tons of sediment annually. This material forms new islands, causes the delta to advance into the Black Sea at about 40 meters per year. The delta is a paradise for birds, over 340 species, more than in any other European wetland. In spring and autumn, millions of migratory birds rest here between Africa and northern Europe. Pelicans are the emblems. Dalmatian pelicans with wingspans of up to 3.5 meters breed in colonies of about 7,000 breeding pairs, the largest in Europe. Their white flocks in formation flight over the water surfaces, an unforgettable sight. Over 110 fish species live in the waters. Sturgeons, these prehistoric giants up to 6 meters long, are now threatened with extinction. Protection programs fight for their survival. The people in the delta live from and with the water. Fishermen in traditional boats, small villages, only accessible by boat. A way of life in rhythm with nature. The Biosphere Reserve is a model project. It shows that protection and use can coexist. Romania's landscape harbors geological wonders above and below the earth. The Bicaz Gorge in the north of the Eastern Carpathians is a monument to erosion. 8 kilometers long, the Bicaz River has carved through limestone. Rock walls up to 300 meters high rise vertically. The limestone layers formed in the Mesozoic in primordial seas. Fossils in the rock are witnesses of this time. Then the Carpathians rose and rivers began their tireless work, millennium after millennium. At the end of the gorge lies the Red Lake, not a natural lake in the classical sense. In 1910, an earthquake triggered a landslide. Rock dammed the river, created this lake within hours. Dead trees still protrude from the water today, ghostly and fascinating. Underground hides a universe of over 12,000 caves. The Scarisoara Ice Cave in the Carpathian Mountains harbors an underground glacier. In a cathedral-sized chamber lie ice layers that are over 3,500 years old. The temperature remains below 0 degrees year-round. The Peștera cu Oaz, the cave with bones, yielded a world sensation. human remains over 40,000 years old. The Oase-1 skull belongs to the oldest finds of anatomically modern humans in Europe. A window into the early history of humanity. Not all geological wonders of Romania are ancient. The mud volcanoes of Bicaz are active in constant change. Near the town of Buzău, grey mud masses bubble from the earth. Not real volcanoes, no magma, no lava. Underground gas streams, mainly methane, push mud and water to the surface. The landscape appears extraterrestrial, grey moon-like cones on which nothing grows. The constant activity changes the forms. A volcano can be active today, come to rest tomorrow, while a new one emerges. Geology in real time. Even more bizarre are the salt deserts of Turda. Here salt has been mined since Roman times for over 2,000 years. The abandoned mines left behind, massive underground cathedrals. Salina Turda, today a tourist magnet, shows chambers over 100 meters high. The salt comes from the Paratethys Sea, which covered this region millions of years ago. When it dried up, it left behind massive salt deposits up to 400 meters thick. These salt deposits shaped not only the geology but also the history of the region. Salt trade brought wealth, salt roads connected cities. Above ground, the salt manifests in the form of salt meadows and salt lakes. The region around Turda also shows impressive salt formations above ground. In the Turda Gorge, the Cele bizarre rock formations of salt-containing rock have developed over millennia. The limestone cliffs, interspersed with salt minerals, rise up to 300 meters high. Climbers from all over Europe come here. Over 1,000 different routes traverse the walls. But the gorge is more than a sports paradise. It harbors rare plant species adapted to the mineral-rich soils and caves where bats hibernate. An ecosystem that shows geology and life are inseparably connected. Between the Carpathian Arcs lies Transylvania, the land beyond the forests. No dramatic mountain landscapes, but gentle plateaus, traversed by rivers, dotted with villages. Here exists a cultural landscape that has disappeared in Western Europe. Extensive agriculture practiced for centuries. Small fields, hedges, blooming meadows, a mosaic of different habitats. These meadows are biodiversity hotspots. Over 50 different plant species grow on 1 hectare. Orchids bloom in lavish abundance in early summer. Butterflies in dozens of species. A world that shows agriculture and nature need not be opposites. The fortified churches scattered across the land tell the story of this region. Built in the Middle Ages by Transylvanian Saxons, today UNESCO World Cultural Heritage. Testimonies of cultural diversity. And then there is, of course, Bran, the so-called Dracula castle. Perched high on a rock, it attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors annually. The connection to Vlad the Impaler, the historical model for Bram Stoker's vampire novel, is, however, thin. Vlad III was a Wallachian prince of the 15th century, known for his brutal methods of rule. Whether he ever stayed at Bran is disputed, but the legend lives and it draws attention to a region whose true treasures lie in its nature and culture, not in fictional vampire stories. Yet this traditional agriculture is threatened. Rural exodus, rewilding, intensive management by agricultural companies. Biodiversity is declining. The Trnava Mare area shows one solution approach. Conservationists work together with farmers. Traditional mowing is promoted, a model for sustainable conservation. Romania's coast on the Black Sea extends over 240 kilometers. Beyond the beaches hide unique ecosystems. The Black Sea itself is geologically fascinating. About 7,000 years ago, it was a freshwater lake separated from the Mediterranean. Then the Bosporus broke through, seawater flooded in. The water level rose dramatically. Coastal settlements sank. Legends of the Great Flood possibly originated here. Today, the Black Sea is two-layered, an upper oxygen-rich layer to about 200 meters depth, below it an anoxic zone without life. This peculiarity makes it a unique research object. The coastal ecosystems are characterized by dunes, lagoons, and wetlands. Between Constanța and Mangalia stretch sandy beaches behind which dune landscapes rise. These dunes are dynamic systems. Wind constantly shapes them. Specialized plants stabilize them. The Razim-Sinoi Lagoon, south of the Danube Delta, is the largest lagoon system in Romania. With about 1,100 square kilometers of area, it forms a transition between fresh and salt water. Here rare waterfowl breed, fish spawn, and water dynamics constantly create new habitats. Particularly remarkable is the Vama-Veș region in the far south. Here, where Romania borders Bulgaria, near-natural coastal sections still exist. Steep coasts where the sea directly erodes loess formations create bizarre erosion forms. A refuge for bird species displaced elsewhere by tourism. Romania's natural wonders face challenges. Illegal logging threatens the primeval forests, poaching decimates animal populations, and uncontrolled tourism puts sensitive ecosystems under pressure. The illegal timber industry is a massive problem. Every year, thousands of hectares of primeval forest disappear, often with the involvement of organized crime. Foresters who oppose the logging are threatened, sometimes even killed. It is a fight for Europe's last primeval forests that takes place in secret. But there is also hope as awareness for nature conservation grows. National parks have been expanded, stricter laws enacted. International organizations like WWF Romania, Conservation Carpathia, and Agent Green fight on the front lines for the preservation of wilderness. Ecotourism is developing into an important economic factor. Bear watching, primeval forest hikes, bird photography in the Delta. People from all over the world come. They bring income to structurally weak regions, create jobs for local guides, and show the local people intact nature is valuable, more valuable alive than felled. Rewilding projects set signs of hope. In the southern Carpathians, over 100 bison have been reintroduced. These mighty animals, which once roamed throughout Europe, find new habitat here. The European lynx is also actively protected and promoted in some regions. They are symbols. What seemed lost can return if we allow it. Education programs reach the young generation. School classes visit national parks, learn about biodiversity, understand the value of their homeland. Ranger programs train local conservationists who know and love their land. The greatest challenge remains the balance between economic development and nature conservation. Romania is among the poorer countries of the EU. People in rural regions need prospects, income, infrastructure. The art lies in designing development so that it does not destroy nature but uses it sustainably for the benefit of people and wilderness today and for coming generations. Romania is a land of contrasts and superlatives. From the rugged Carpathians to the labyrinths of the Danube Delta, from underground glaciers to bizarre mud volcanoes, from species-rich cultural landscapes to the dynamic Black Sea coast. Here, European nature reveals itself in all its diversity. These landscapes are more than beautiful pictures. They are living systems that provide services, clean water, fresh air, climate regulation. They are refuges for species that have disappeared elsewhere. And they are spaces in which we can connect with something greater than ourselves. The future of these natural wonders lies in our hands, in the hands of the Romanian population, politics, the international community, and also in your hands, because awareness is the first step toward change. If you want to learn more about Europe's hidden natural paradises, subscribe to this channel. In the coming weeks, I will take you to more extraordinary places. Feel free to leave a comment. Which of the presented natural wonders impressed you the most? Or do you perhaps know Romania from personal experience? I look forward to your thoughts. Until next time, stay curious.